Dominique break. Dominique break. Utagani break. Good. Alright, whoever ordered up this nice weather, thank you. Got tired of yelling over the fan. Plus it means we get to work harder because we can sweat more now. Maybe. A lot faster. Oh yeah, cool weather gets me in a good mood for about 2 days, and I get cold and I don't like it. All right, before we get started, Sifu Marie wanted me to pass along a message. The next couple of days, like this time frame in the Asian countries, is the Mid-Autumn Festival. It's another one of their special festivals. On the Northwind Facebook page, there are 2 posts on there. One, a link that she wanted to put out describing the Mid-Autumn Festival. So I'm not even going to attempt it because I didn't fully read the article and I don't want to butcher it. So go look at that one. The second post is a special Tai Chi video she filmed about a year ago in the mountains of Arkansas for autumn. You want to see outstanding world-class Tai Chi done in Autumn Mountain, Arkansas, watch the video. So when y'all get home, that's your homework.
Is it on your link that's linked to Northwind?
No, it's on the Northwind Facebook page. Not on anything to do with my stuff. It's the Northwind page.
Listen. Right?
Oh, what to do. All right, let's do this just for the sake of geometry. So you two take 1 square back. You come maybe a half a square forward. There you go. Yeah, that's good. I just want to spread you guys out a little bit. All right, step out, left forward stance, left right. Hey. Hey. Step with left. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. 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 Shoot down, okay. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. 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 Good. Get him right. Down block. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. Make sure you got a little natural bend in the elbows. It looks like a couple of locked elbows today. You don't want that. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. 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 Up. Right there. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Good. Udeuki. Middle inside block. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. 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 Up. Right there. Hey. Young man, how much of the floor you want or need, sir? You want me moving forward or are you going somewhere else?
You can go like 2 squares that way.
Okay. Everybody come toward me. 2 squares.
And Rita, if you can do 1 square that way. I got this space right here.
Okay. You good? All right.
Mess up your finger.
It kind of balances it out. It's all right. doesn't kick off my OCD too bad.
Just a little twitch.
Just a little bit, yeah. Just have, you know, that left shoulder thing right there. Where am I? Yeah. Step out. Left forward stance. Left middle inside block. Hey. I didn't say forward stance, did I? Okay.
What did you say, sir?
Did I say forward stance or horse stance?
Maybe I didn't.
Okay. Let me be more specific, because apparently it got all jumbled up about the time it left my lips. Forward stance. Got it. Hey. Hey. Son. Like that. Hey. Hey. Up. Like that. Hey. What do I do? Double block. Hey. Hey. Up. Like that. Hey. Hey. Hot. Like that. Hey. 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 Hot. You're probably some of the knees. You're starting to get knocked knees a little bit. Like that. Hey. 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 Hot. Like that. Hey. Hidari Tateski, left vertical twist. Hey. Hey. Hot. Hey. Like that. Hey. Good chance for me, please. Big hands in that. Hey. Hey. Hot. Like that. Hey. 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 Up. Like that. Hey. Oi, ski. Turnover punch. Hey. Hey. Up. Hey. Oh. Like that. Hey. Hey. Up. Hey. Oh. Up. Instead of a rear leg turn, I want you to do a front leg turn. Like that. Hey.
Leave that. Leave it.
Hey. You did something funky. But I'm so amazed they did it right. I didn't even look at you, so I didn't know how you screwed up.
But I didn't mess up the hand.
Oh, you didn't want it up. Okay. Where we at? Repeat ski, back fist.
Hey.
Hey. Hey. Up. Like that. Hey! Hey! Halt! Like there.
Right?
Good. Hey! Hey! Halt! Like there.
Right?
Hey! Hey! Halt! Like there.
Right?
Good. Against you. Uppercut.
Hey?
Hey! Hey! Halt! Like there.
Right?
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 Good. Full against you. Flail pump. Hey! Hey! Halt! Like there.
Right?
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 Come here. All right, we slide forward, maybe half a square or so. There we go. With the flail punch, if my target is my opponent's head, right? What is the angle of force that I'm applying to him? What angle what is the angle of impact? Probably the easiest way to say it. Is it dead straight, 90, 180, some variant thereof?
I picture 45 in this direction.
There, I got one vote 45.
I always thought it was 90 degrees. It could be directly sideways as well.
That, got 145, or excuse me, 145, 190, one kind of agreed. 45? Okay.
45.
Okay.
Depends.
You steal my thunder? Come on, man.
If he's right here,
That's it. That's it. Yeah, it depends. Depends on where he is. Again, as with everything, or most everything, it does depend. Everybody's right. What changes, if any, in your technique to derive those two different angles of impact?
if your elbow is bent,
Okay, so just so that I'm clear, you're talking about the 91?
if you want to do a 90, my elbow would have to be
No, I'm asking, which one are you describing, just so I'm clear.
either,
Okay?
depending on.
Oh, okay. All right, I was misunderstanding where you're going. Okay, so he's saying angle of elbow. Be more specific, though. Like pick one and describe the elbow angle or something like that.
If I was coming right at 90 degrees, my elbow would have to be at like a 45 degree angle.
Okay? Using what surface to make impact with?
Back of my top two knuckles.
Back, or
Right.
you're talking about right on the edge? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Those of you that say 45, what has to change? Or what does change, if anything?
I agree with that.
Be quiet.
I was gonna say, it depends on where the target is.
Elaborate, please.
So if the target is more to my left, I'm going to left. Going straight here. If
Okay? You were just taking too long to think. She had something to say, so.
I look at it as the angle of, because you can make your wrist, you can lock your wrist this way, or you technically this, but I look at the way your hip moves, you could turn the punch to a different angle. Because if you stay here, it's here, you do this, it changes it.
Okay.
So I believe you might be just being a father here, but
Okay. Again, louder and more projection because you're talking into the mask. You talk through the mask, not at the mask.
All right, sir. So I believe that it, I might be repeating my father here, but that is due to the elbow placement. If you're trying to go 49 degrees, your elbow's a little bit more downwards. If you're trying to go 90 degrees, your elbow not of course not above the arm because that is different because you do not want that, but at least a little bit higher than what you would want for 45.
Okay?
I actually wouldn't bend my elbow because it feels like it takes away from something if you did this. Yeah, it can, but I feel like it's supposed to be strengthened at the point here. Bending it's like you guys say, the
Okay.
release or something.
Don't ask me then. That's a good question. Ask them.
Well,
Okay,
we're more
here's the
statement,
question.
But it feels like it disengages some things if you bend your elbow. When you
So
go
the
up.
question to me, it's a good question. The question to me then is, what are the extremes for your elbow in your description of bending the elbow? Because I agree with Greg. One other thing.
Can you say
This
that again?
flail
No.
motion, if you bend it too much, turns into a different
Turns
punch
into
altogether.
turns into hook punch.
But when you do
Which
that,
we'll come to that in just a second too.
this engages, but this feels like it disengages because the way your arm is turned.
Put a pin in that because we're going there in just a bit. So, no specific answer, just not too far.
Very little for a change of punch.
Okay. Let's kind of stick with this thought process for a second. When Shion James was working at another dojo owned by Shion Mark Moore, was a welterweight, I think, kickboxing champ for a long time back in the 90s. Great fighter. As the two of them were, as we all do, debating various and sundry kickboxing versus karate versus whatever kind of thing, the flail came up. Shion had an excellent way of putting it, because for a kickboxer with a glove, this makes no sense. Intuitively makes no sense. This makes sense. This and this are just a matter of degrees. So from a kickboxing standpoint, if you want to look at it that way, a flail is a long-range hook punch. The closer you come in, the more hook punchy it gets. So this is just a long-range version of this. Like this. To a certain degree. So given the, well, let me rephrase that. Is there any other, without really splitting the hairs into some serious geometry and some weirdness, are there any other really acceptable angles of impact for a flail punch? You got 45 and 90, we can all agree on those two. Don't tell me 45 and a half or some nonsense like that. But I mean like big numbers, like 0, 45, 90, that kind of thing.
That angle is just for the head. What angle is straight ahead? Would that be 180 or that's the...
Okay, well, just because the arm is going straight, I'm talking about once it hits. Is it, to me, straight on is 0, 45, 90. We'll just leave it to those three. Or 180, I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
Not to me.
Not to you, okay? No, not really. To me, it turns into something different. Kind of thing.
Doesn't work on enough.
So if I'm going to go here This is weird to me. It's just, this is,
But if you did,
That's
if you were,
different.
if you were moving your body, you could go straight on and it would work.
100% agree, but you also then, because you change your body angle, change the angle of impact. I'm talking standing straight here and go straight in. This way. You're absolutely right. This all day long. I love that. But once I've done this body motion, change. Now I'm changing on this. Okay. All of you are right, and one of the reasons that years ago I figured out why he asked questions like this. So, and it was really to judge not right or wrong, but where you are in your thought process. Because none of you are wrong, and you definitely are not wrong for your respective ranks. Experience, maybe a better word. Okay? As you train in the martial arts, and you start shaving off those decimal points of experience, your stuff kind of changes a little bit. Not really, but kind of. Kind of like, everybody know the statue of the thinker? Everybody know that statue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rodin? Rodin, okay. Now, I don't necessarily know that this is true, but I read that he said this. So I'm going to pass it along because it's germane to the point. Somebody asked him how he created such beautiful statues. And he said, I don't. I just move away the messy bits. So, martial arts is a lot like that. It's not that he's better than all of us. I'm better than you, you're better than you, whatever. It's more of the messy bits are gone. I'm still trying to get rid of messy bits. You guys are getting rid of
That's
messy
what I call the
bits.
matrix. You're able to see the, not just 0 and 1, you see the picture.
Exactly. So that kind of thing. So, in my study, as I look back on what I did, I go, okay, I used to do it this way, now I do it this way. Why doesn't that feel right anymore? And various things. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with this particular technique tonight. How do we throw a flail punch?
In as much of a straight line as possible.
Define straight line.
You're going up and turning out, not necessarily.
Okay? Put a pin in that for just a second.
And I definitely disagree.
Absolutely. I expect you to. Okay, go ahead.
Because I thought being taught the flail was similar to that weapon that had a chain on the end, so it actually sort of swings from the shoulder.
All right?
Kind of like a whip, and it starts with the shoulder, and this just happens to be at the end of it.
Okay. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're being far too quiet. All of you are correct. And here, it kind of goes back to that messy bit part. I think we have talked about this before. We learned the long line in order to learn the short line. And this kind of loops back to a few weeks ago with the whole chorus helix thing, in my opinion. So if I'm here, I'm going to throw this, okay, day one, white belt, teaching flail punch. Step forward, reach behind. When I bring my hand out, I want you to pay very close attention to my hand and what it does. Everybody sees that? So, behind, here, this way. Right? Yes. What does my hand do? Twist it. Right? We can all agree on that. Coming from back here and twisting. What is my shoulder doing? It's kind of allowing my elbow to make this. Okay. Now, game one, minute one, flail punch, white belt, right? Several of you are doing that, and it's not wrong, but you're also not doing it exactly that way, which is also great because you pass that. So, as my shoulder starts to rotate, and it causes my elbow to rotate, and my hand rotate. Who was here for my description of what Scott had to say about computer animation? You guys weren't here for that one? Okay, that's for the blanks there. You remember Scott? I don't know if you know this, he programs the EA Sports Madden football. He's one of their senior programs. We were having this discussion about the helix and the torus and all of that, and he brought it back to computer animation. Apparently, back in the day, I'm going to butcher his explanation, but I'll have him explain it when he comes in sometime. Back in the day, apparently, when they were programming video games, they would program all three axes of rotation. So they would program this, they would program this, and they would program this. And as we all know, you probably don't, but computer games were all junky, stuff like that. Somebody somewhere, somehow, video game guy, found out that if you program just the rotation, the linear motion comes out as a byproduct. So instead of, like for the shoulder joint, up, this way, that way, forward, elbow, up, back, this way, they would go rotate, 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 and that motion came out smoothly and just as a byproduct of it. Same thing here. So what in the beginning looks like, I'm going to really over-exaggerate, this is actually a larger rotation of that. So, for you, you're thinking about it this way, 100% correct. You're shaving off some more of the messy bits, you're coming more straight. Here, there, that is whale bone, right there. And it is simply just the rotation of three joints. This comes out of it as a byproduct. So when you see people, I'm gonna point me right, yeah, like Hanshi, like these guys, and they don't seem to move, this is how. Because they've learned and developed a long line, but they realize that this long line can kind of be shrunk down into a tighter rotation. And by tighter, I don't mean stiffer. I mean more compact, that's a better word. Much more relaxed, much more compact. Instead of this circle making this circle, Hanshi makes that circle, and that linear motion is when you go flying. Now, don't straighten the elbow. Keep the elbow exactly where you had it before. Yeah. There you go. All right. So, whether or not I'm hitting 45 or 90 depends on how much I rotate. Not how much I bend my elbow, to me. Again, you're not wrong, but for me, not how much I bend my elbow, how much I rotate my shoulder. Now, you also notice I don't do this, I don't lift the shoulder. But if I rotate normal, I would say I'm hitting in 45. If I rotate more, I'm hitting in 90. So not much changes from here to here. How much more I rotate the shoulder. Okay.
What about distance or rotating the hip ticket, the 180, no?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but is that the same concept of if I rotate my hip, I change the line?
Well, if I have to rotate my hip to get power. Now, if I'm going to rotate my hip and my shoulder, I'm going to do a whole lot of different things. So at that point, there's a certain amount of hip rotation that goes with a certain amount of distance in the technique. If I start altering the hip rotation, which is perfectly acceptable, it's going to alter my distance of my technique. So I'm going to get different on different on different, which is good, or can be good, as long as it's being done purposely. If I hit from just a front stance, I get there. If I let it roll to a Shiko, I get there. If I really let it go into something else, I can get 180. He slips. This one? You can get 180 under certain circumstances. All right. Sorry, I just had that on my mind. I need to infest your guys' brains with it. All right. Left fighting stance. 8. 7 forward, knee left. 8. 8. Son. Right there. 8. 8. Up. Right there. 9. You're almost on top of your own toes. 8. 8. Up. Right there. 8. 8. Up. Right there. Good. High sokugiri, instep kick. 8. 8. Up. Right there. 8. 8. Up. Right there. Yeah, we call this one instep kick. What actually is the weapon that we're using when we strike?
I need to use at least from here up.
From the ankle up?
Yeah.
So, okay. Basically, the length of the shin bone. Okay, I got one vote for that.
Usually, I always thought it was right here, sir.
Okay, you're talking about the actual arch of your foot. Yes?
Close.
Okay. Just want to make sure I was clear on what you were pointing at.
It's stuck in your defense all the time.
Well,
Most
it
of the
does.
time I would say it's this.
I agree with Kenny that
Okay? Is there any part of the foot that it is acceptable to strike from? Or strike
Is.
with?
Is or is not?
Is. Okay? Now, okay, let me qualify that. I completely agree. The shin bone, rock and roll. I don't agree with you, however. We'll get to why in just a second. So, having said that, from the ankle to the end of my big toe with an instep kick, is there any part of my foot that it is acceptable to use? Not for you, okay? That was what he was saying, so.
I think you could, depending on what you're hitting. There's this part here that has almost like a knuckle right
Okay.
here that I could hit something with. If I'm hitting someone's midsection, that could work.
Just so that I'm clear, you're talking about like the mid part of the top of your foot, yes?
Top of my foot,
Right about-
almost aligned with my big toe. But
Right. Okay. All right. You say no.
Get a
Okay.
little bit older, do that on a bag.
yeah, I was about to say, not for me either.
I
Okay.
wouldn't do anything hard, so.
Therein lies the problem. Okay. All right, young man. On a certain level, I am with you two. I'm not that extreme because I do think there is a place. I do not think the top of my arch right here is that place because I've cracked that on things before. That hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. Plus, there's that pressure point right between the first and second metatarsals, which will light you up. How many here have had me step on them with my big toe right there? Yeah, okay, so you know a little bit about
Anywhere
that.
your big toe goes hurts.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's why I disagree with the top of the foot. Although I will give you the, if you're hitting a soft target, like the inner thigh or something like that, and you can guarantee that it's going to be soft. Okay, I'll give you that one. But as a general rule, I'm not a big fan. Because again, I've cracked that thing on things, work, play, whatever. What I do think, this first knuckle right here, which kind of equates to your first thumb knuckle, or the big toe. As I'm going up, I can use that knuckle similar to Ippon Ken. Very similar type process. Big toe, I've had him instep kick me in parts of my anatomy that I really wish he hadn't with that big toe, and I will guarantee you beyond a shadow of doubt it will work and it will put you on your knees in a heartbeat.
You dug out my belly button with that, sir.
But that was a front kick, that wasn't an instep
Oh, it
kick.
was a front kick?
Yeah, that was a front kick. That's one of my favorites. So now you got me thinking about toe kicking you in the belly now instead of thinking about what I was doing. All right, there's the one thing that this first knuckle does give you. It gives you the ability to roll the toes behind other things and pull on them.
What do you mean, sir?
All right. If the sensitive parts of the male anatomy are in this position, you come up with that instep kick. You catch them right about that first toe knuckle, loop your toes behind, and pull straight forward. If they're wearing a cup, they never see it coming. And it catches their attention that quick. So you basically go in behind and pull.
So you end up almost like you're doing a front kick back out?
You do like a pulling front kick low on the way out. Right. So basically from the knee down to the end of your toe, minus the really sensitive parts, in my opinion, of those bones. And one of the reasons I don't like that is for the same reason that the armpit makes a good target. There's just skin and bone there. There's nothing there to protect it. You know, down here, you start getting into other things helping out. But right here on top of that arch, it's skin, and then you're on the bone. And again, I've cracked that thing on both feet. How many people here ever had a horse or a cow step on their foot? Had a 1,500-pound steer playing a hoof on top of that while I was wearing a pair of tennis shoes one time. That will dissuade you from kicking hard things very quickly. All right, left fighting stance. Hey. Where are we at? Hot Yokogiri, front 45 side kick. Hey. Hey. Up. Like this. Hey. Hey. Up. Keep. Go. I gave you your shot, Risa. You should have took it. Like this.
Almost want her to die, sir.
Hey. No, I wanted her to sidekick Shion because I thought it'd be funny. Hey. Not really. Up. Keep. Go. Like this. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like this. Ushirogiri, back kick. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like this. Hey. Hey. Hug. Like this. Hey. Hey. Hug. Right there. Hey. Hey. Hunt. Right there.
Hey,
Front kick, high knee.
bust.
Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there.
Hey,
Hey. Hey. Up. Right there. Hey. Hey. Up. Right there.
hey,
Washington, round kick.
bust.
Hey. Hey. Up. Right there.
Hey,
Hey. Hey. Up. Right there.
hey.
Yeah, given everything that we were talking about with instep kick, how does that translate to a weapon for the round kick? What is our weapon for a round kick?
Say around the shin, sir?
Around the same. That doesn't tell me anything. Be more specific.
I said around the shin.
Around the shin. Okay, I got you. Okay, around the shin. Okay.
Or it could be the ball of the foot.
Ball of foot, big toe, shin. Is it ever the top of your foot?
No, sir.
It is not. Not ever. No. Where did the whole top of the foot come from?
What do you mean, sir?
I mean, we train round kick, we point the toe, we'll hit the bag sometimes. The top of the foot. Why would we do that if that's not what we're doing?
For me, sir, it's mainly because I'm just forgetting not to put it. Not, I'm just forgetting to not to fold it back. So
Okay.
To practice keeping your foot like this.
Okay.
When you connect.
Came from tournaments.
What's that, sir?
Came from tournaments. Got tired of people getting knocked out because people like Hanshi put that big toe under your ear. Or they put that shin upside your head. So they made it where you touch with the top of your foot. So then over the years, as things happened, it became the way to do a round kick. Boom. You hit top of your foot, full force, something solid, you're gonna break your foot. The toe pointing from a practical aspect is because you're kicking with a shin. You're either throwing that shin into a thigh kick or something like that and keeping the toes out of the way. So if you're pointing your toes, you're actually using your shin as your weapon. If you're bending the foot, you're either using ball of the foot or big toe. All right, again, washigiri. Hey! Hey! Hunt! When you kick, don't do this. Do this compact. Right there. Hey! Hey! Hunt! Right there.
Hey,
Soto Mikasuki Giri. Mikasuki Giri. Outside crescent kick. Everybody remember that one?
I was gonna do that, just guessing.
Just guessing. Hey, it's a good guess. Step forward, outside crescent kick. Hey! Yeah, that one. No, outside. Hey!
oh, it's
Round
not,
kick.
not this.
Yeah. No, it's not Pinon Yondon. It completes like a round kick. But you're going correct. It's the same direction.
Oh, you want it inside?
Inside down. For us, the kick is named by the direction it's going, like to match the blocks.
And is the strength the outside blade?
Outside blade of the foot, absolutely. Or the heel if you're coming down. Coming down on it. Up! There you go. Good. What there? Hey! Hey! Stop! Right there.
Hey,
Good.
that one feels weird. So can you do that one so we can see, sir?
It's ugly.
Can't be on the road. That.
Still making ice cream cone shape.
And in a way, an example that somebody's coming, remove from a ruler. You might do that. Just
We'll delve into it a little more here in a second. This, right? This comes here.
let's see what it says. This is
Where you going outside? Okay? So, right. So this one over here will be like, right? Getting it out. There's one way of doing it. If you got something out there, you want to get out on the hand. This, yeah, you can kind of do a little bit of that. I do it there, that way. So going into your head.
which that's the part I was doing, but I wasn't completing the thing. I was going like,
See how some kind of go like this? You can see that snap? Right? That's how you can go in there. You have some of the gut. You go into the water. Yeah, if you got the flexibility and the speed, absolutely, you can knock that guard out of the way. I have never been that person. But from the waist down, I'll eat your lunch with that thing. Because like Sean was showing, that to the outside of the thigh, inside of the thigh, use it to hook an ankle all day long. Yeah. Right there. Exactly. All right, let's do inside crescent kick. Uchi Mikasuki Giri. That one. Yep. Hey. Hey. Yep. Yeah, the other way. Outside the in. Stop. Right there. Hey. Hey. Stop. Right there.
hey,
Come here. How do the shoulders, well, let me rephrase that. How does the shoulder girdle relate to the hip girdle for our purposes?
You can both rotate in the second way.
They both rotate, okay?
they follow the same line of rotation.
Follow the same line of
This
rotation.
is
Okay?
moving this way, this hip, your left hip is moving the same way as your shoulder.
Okay?
Brakes don't mind. Brakes don't mind, so I have nothing, sir.
So you follow yours? Okay.
They need to steal it.
And I was gonna say it remains not as much rotation.
Not as much rotation.
It remains
Okay?
over the body.
When you say not as much rotation, what do you mean by that?
Only that you're not supposed to move it.
Show me like a punch. What you mean by that? Okay?
So, hips have no rotation, but my shoulders and my torso are the same, except for a little bit of rotation that I'm struggling with.
But they are rotating.
Yes, not as much as the
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because I agree, but they're not static. You're not and letting the hip rotate underneath. That's what I wanted to clarify. Make sure we're doing. Okay. We can all agree, because we talked about it 1,000 times, the hips generate power. Right? Paraplegic. Immobile from the rib cage down. Can they generate power?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. You ever been hit by one? Especially one that doesn't have an electric wheelchair? Oh! They're the strongest people you'll ever see in the upper body. Man, they will mess you up. Yeah? So, if they have no hip rotation, how can they generate power? Shoulder girdle rotation. Right. So, from an anatomical standpoint, the shoulder girdle and the hip girdle are completely analogous. You can use one or the other or both. That's why, not static, but a little bit. You're right. There's a Goldilocks zone of rotation.
Okay.
So I heard this, that I think from just about everybody, that they rotate the same direction. So if I'm going to throw this reverse punch, my shoulders are rotating counterclockwise, my hips are rotating counterclockwise. I wouldn't ever do this
Yes,
kind of
you
thing.
would at times.
Right?
At times you may. When you're going to the side, you may.
Yeah.
No, I still go
They're
this
still
way.
going the same direction.
Yeah, but it fooled me for a minute because I felt like.
Confused me because I'm like, I don't do that. Okay, yeah. But now I see what you're doing. Yeah. So if my shoulders or my hips are going to rotate counterclockwise, my shoulders are going to rotate counterclockwise, whether it's lead side or reverse side. We all kind of in agreement with that?
Try it the other way, doesn't work.
This is going this way while this is going that way.
No, your hands are going that way.
But my
Try to
shoulder,
twist
my
your
shoulder
shit.
is doing this, and this part of my body is doing this.
You keep changing.
So to me, this is moving this way while my shoulders are moving this way.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. As I'm doing this, you're feeling the arm move. Watch this shoulder, this hip, as I do that. Okay, I'm not going to do, well, I can do that, but I can't really do that. See the difference? If I have this hip going forward and I have this shoulder going back, I get this. I don't want this.
Completely cancels just about all. It like cancels all power. Come
Yeah,
to do that.
you're absolutely right. Which is exactly where we're going. If both things are available, and I twist one but I don't twist the other, I get a certain level of power. If I twist one and not the other, I get a certain level of power. If I twist them together, we get additive power. If I twist counter, I got part of my body going one way, part of my body going the other. Right? Okay, so we're all in agreement up to now, yes? Okay, then why do I still see this on the round here?
Thanks for making it feel stupid.
Okay, no, that's not the point, because I'm going to add something to the point while you guys are thinking about it. Okay, everybody,
I'm not twisting the hip, just doing straight leg.
are you lost now?
That's what you look like. It just looked like a straight leg without the twist of the hip. Is that what you're demonstrating? Or?
No, I was demonstrating dropping the shoulder back while my leg is going forward. At least that's what I was trying to do.
I look at that as you're generating power from this movement because you're making your body do this, and when you do that along with it, it pulls your hip up versus if I just stay here and do this, I feel like it didn't allow some twisting it, bring some energy to force.
Okay. Just one second. I'm not talking about leaving the shoulder girdle straight while you're round kick, because I agree that's wrong. I don't want the shoulder girdle flat. I don't want to do that. Excuse me, I don't want to do that. What I'm talking about though is if I'm coming forward and I do this, where I throw my kick that way, my hip is going that way, and I'm throwing my upper body and this shoulder in the exact opposite direction.
If we're doing that, we need to work on
Okay? Well, herein lies the kicker. Everybody know what Muay Thai is?
Right?
Who does not know what Muay Thai is? Okay, Muay Thai is a Thailand kickboxing. Some of the baddest little buggers in the world. They will eat you up and they're about that tall. Okay? Every round kick they throw that arm behind them. I have no idea how they can kick so hard doing that. I still can't. I still haven't yet to figure it out. Suki Price, Chikibukai, Chia, or Hanshi. If you throw the shoulder with the hip this way, it'll eat you up. Okay? I agree with that. That makes sense to me. Because it goes with our punch, our kicks. Throwing the shoulder arm back, in my opinion, A, I got hit in the face too many times doing it. And B, to me, it cancels power out. So if you have some insight, I'd love to hear it on the shoulder, because I can't figure out how those Muay Thai guys do it.
I do this sometimes, and it's two things for me. And it's still it's an experiment. You know, somehow that helps with this part.
Oh, with the oblique. Okay.
You know, obliques to kind of bring it in. So the initial that doesn't do much to cancel it, in my opinion. It's more about the elbow here, right? Now, the other thing around it is if you are whipping something, then even though you cancel it here, the whip will still go. Right?
Looks like he's Would you like to kick me, sir?
Sure. Please, I'm not gonna hit you.
He's
hard.
starting to bow up on you, so I wouldn't put Bob back to him.
So I'm going over here, right? If that whipping motion, right? If I stop the shoulder over here, there's still going to be a whipping motion. In other words, the perfect example was when you're doing that whip, right? The belt is not at the end when you pull it back. You pull it back before it hits. Does that make sense? You gotta do that, and the thing at the end goes shut.
Like current.
It's all for whip.
Like current. You did it in the
Yeah,
current.
you go in, when you done that one, the whole thing is going, bam! Right? That's the only thing that's trying to make sense, that they went here, and then once they stop that thing, that kick is going, yep, but they don't retract it. So, I see the Colombia in that one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we go here and we retract it, we create that hit.
Right.
They just go, wham! They don't even coming back. So I don't know if they're leaving the whip there, right? Because I see some of the MMA fighters, like you said, when they put the whole thing and they miss, they do that.
On the next
Because
shoulder.
the shoulder and everything like that, right? So some of the kickboxers, they gotta stay right there. They can't really miss too much, right? Because they have all the things that go in there. But again, remember that when you have this whipping motion, right? Even with the punch, right? There's two. One, when you dump it, then you go bam, right? Or one when you do it now. And that can be in all of the different things. Does that make sense? And the kick. But yeah, why I have that tendency to doing that too.
Well, actually, thank you for that explanation, because that clears up my confusion, because now I see what's going on. If you notice, Shiana talking about the oblique, the abdominal oblique. So he's compressing this way. It's only the arm that's flexing. What I was seeing, and I see from the junior, is the shoulder going. So it's that. Yeah. Different. What you're doing is different. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. It's just, so if you compress, that's different. Yeah, and if the arm is just moving, kind of giving that illusion, sure. I still don't like dropping it because I get hit in the head too many times. Okay, but yeah. I think we can agree, though, that the shoulder doesn't go back. Yeah.
But can I ask, I don't know if it's the same thing, like, even when you see people who dance or do flips, they do this. So it's almost like it gives your body some momentum. So I look at it as that does it too. It's like a momentum. It's a momentum.
But like Sheena said, you don't want to go the shoulder back. The shoulder doesn't go back. It's more about that compression, and it's all about that elbow. You know, you can do it here. That said, that gets you. Yeah, you can do the same thing and go here and come back, and you can bounce. Right? You can bam, bam. You can go down through there. So, but like you said, you don't want to do that because that, like you said, it brings it back over. There is an oblique and there is a snap. There is a whipping motion too. But yeah, you don't want to pull that shoulder back. I agree with him 100% on that. 100%.
Thank you, sir, for that. I appreciate that. I've been years trying to figure out what's going on. But good.
So you asked why he was doing it.
All right.
You asked why he was doing it.
Okay. I did. So, why are you doing it?
So they're trying to gather the obliques. Trying to gather the obliques, and sometimes you have to gather too much of it. Then you go back.
No. If I see you compress, that's one thing. I'm still seeing a little too much with shoulder.
A balance issue, a weak back issue.
If I had to guess, because thinking back when I used to did the same thing. It's kind of like that tightrope walker to me. Okay, with the big stick. They're using that for balance. So what I would do is when I would throw, if I'm off balance, I would balance myself. So this was like a counterbalance to my leg. Yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. So, this way, trying to balance the weight of my leg, so I just got used to it on my leg.
I do kind of, but I didn't realize it was really contracted on me. I thought it was, I do kind of, when I was looking at it as I'm trained, but maybe I'm really doing that. I don't know after a while.
See, now you do, oh, no, I wasn't screwing it up. I was doing exactly what Sean said.
But really,
Sean Jerry is just too stupid to see it. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm just happy to be here, so.
7:05, 30.
Yep.
That's for later. All right, anything else?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's it. Escape. Show me. Right. Johnny. Right. Johnny. Right.
What? Yeah, X95, some of that sort of great stuff. Right? That's the thing about Shihan. He can verbalize and explain something and break it down. And that you guys, it's good that you guys are getting this. I appreciate that, Shihan. I think that is his superpower. Joe's a superpower, that's Jerry's superpower. He's able to analyze things to break it down to a certain level that I get it like, shit, you know what, I don't thought about that before.
And he's good at making you feel stupid.
I feel like too stupid to see what
Yeah, that's not, I didn't know that was hard, I didn't have to work on that one. Alright, so we have hopefully a new student over there. Name is Lisa. Lisa, that is, Lisa, that's Risa. Lisa, that's Risa. This is Kenny. Brandon. And, Greg. Or a bunch of that, you know how you want to call it. So that is Shihan Jerry. Right? And we either helping us or if you didn't help him. I know him for over 25 years or so. That's probably close to 30. He knows a lot. That's why he's here kicking these guys before the Did you see that guy, the style bender?
Oh, before everybody goes, Seafood Marie once again wanted to say Happy Autumn Festival to everybody.
UFC fight,
No, I didn't see it.